We are live. We're back. It's been a little bit of a break. Um, it's been a little bit of a break. Jamie's not here. Don't know if he ever will be again. I hope he will be. But this week, I've called in the help of Kimbo the Sparks. She's sitting there looking like the Terminator. I don't know what is wrong with her. Like, why is it only weird people want to do the podcast with me? It's weird, isn't it? But in this podcast, we're going to be talking about Instagram versus reality. What's been going on in the background, and how you can't always judge a person by their Instagram and how great their life is until you've actually, well, you like a lot of Instagram is just showing you the good stuff. I try and show you the bad stuff as well. That's what I've been doing lately. But Kimbo's been up and down as well. So we're going to be getting into that. Got a little bit of news. But before we do that, as always, the legends at Navitas, who make arguably the best fuse boards out there, pound for pound. And they like their fuse boards are just the best. They've got they actually sell them direct now on their website, Navitas CP. Go and check it out. You can use ELEPod 20 for a discount. And honestly, everything they do is high quality, good stuff. Kimbo's interrupting me. High quality, good stuff. Go and check them out. Get your discount, and they even do Klarna on there now as well, so you can just get it on tick like it's on the like it's on a wholesaler. So I'm a little bit out of practice. Bear with me on this. Now we've got a new sponsor. This week I got robbed. I had about 400 quid's worth of cable robbed off my drive yesterday, and the good guys at Green Cable, they reached out to me to just like reach out to me, and they wanted to sponsor the podcast and just sort of do me a favor, basically. Now, Green Cable is the UK's leading scrap collection service for the trade professionals. Serves over 2,000 electricians, with more joining every month. There's no contract, no sign-up fee or collection charges. Simply prove your working trade status. Now, they also they charge £19.50 to deliver the bin, but that's knocked off your first collection. After that, everything we pay, you keep. Honestly, they're really nice people. They've reached out. They do a lot. They do a lot for electricians behind the scenes as well. They're lovely people. And if you don't want the grief of going to a scrapyard and piling it all up in your driveway just to get nicked because you turn your back for 5 seconds, they're probably a good bet for you. Check them out. Green Cable. Go and check them out. They're on Instagram. They do a lot of content on Instagram. And go and check them out. Go and check out their website, which I don't have in front of me, but is what it is. Anyway, all that's out of the way now. Kimbo.
Yep.
You've been away for a while.
Yeah, you know what? Let's start with the rumors. So what's happened is literally Sam spoke about his scrap being stolen today, and by pure coincidence, I posted a video of me going to the scrapyard with loads of scrap for the first time and scrapping it in and making extra Christmas cash. That wasn't it. It's not Sam's scrap, by the way.
It probably is, like.
No, it's not, because it was actually my garage clearance. I've been posting on my Instagram offering, for all these screws and random bits and bobs that I've had for anyone to take it. And I've not really had anyone that's responded that was serious and was able to take it. So ended up just taking it to a scrapyard, all my old tools and bits and bobs, and ended up getting like 50 quid. I was like, wicked. Yeah,
50
so
quid, is that it, bruv?
yeah, because I didn't strip the cable, and it was just literally scrap bits like pots and pans and like screws and plugs, like literally scrap.
Why are
like
you
scrap?
Why are you scrapping pots and pans, bro?
Well, they were either gonna go in a bin or add a bit of weight to the scrap pile. So scrap pile it was. But yeah, I went to Kroll Metals, which is basically my local scrapyard, and they're really cool as well. But the green cable bin that you're talking about, they're really awesome, but it's not something that I can really have living in a flat in London.
No.
Storage unit. So obviously they're working on that, and it is what it is. Until then, I'm using the original OG methods of actually going to the scrapyard, like what you said, with my bag of scrap and scrapping it there and weighing it in. And
yeah, it's a funny thing. Like, it is a ball ache going to the scrapyard. I quite like it. I've always liked it. My dad used to have a mate who run a scrapyard, and they used to have these big cranes with like grabbers on,
Mm.
and they had like three or four
They
of them
still got
going,
that.
just scraping up
Yeah,
stuff. And
they've
I
still
just
got
love
that.
looking at it. It looks like something from Terminator. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
It
I
looks
love it. The
awesome.
thing is, I've never been to a scrapyard, so when I went for the first time, I thought it was amazing.
It's quite lively
To
in there.
find out what you can actually scrap, I was like, what? Literally anything you can think of has something of
This is
value.
it now. Kimmy's starting up a scrap business. Watch.
Yeah, I am. I am. Honestly, every time I go out now, I'm like, oh, that's a bit of scrap, and it might be like a small little bit, and I'm like, just quickly chuck that in the back.
No, see the thing is, right? Scrap's a funny thing. I don't really do it often, and I've got a little shed in my front garden that I just throw it all in. I just sling it in there. That's what happens, right? And then I got it all out into a ton bag, and then I was going to get my mate round the corner to give me a hand getting it in the back of my truck and run it round. But because I've had no work and I've been on my arse basically, I thought, nice, I've got about 400 quid's worth of scrap in there because it's all like tails and stuff like that, bits of tails and all that. Good size scrap. And fucking I went out to go and see a job, and then I come back and it was gone. And it was hidden in the corner as well. You couldn't see it from the road. No one could see it. So someone's actually come on my
Yeah,
driveway, snooped around, and then robbed it. I was
yeah.
not
People,
happy.
people do that. People do that. And that's what I used to do with my scrap before. I used to leave it in a bag in like the front garden bit, knowing that someone will take it. Literally within 30 minutes, someone will take it because there's people that drive around and scope out people's front gardens and
But
stuff.
they
So
reckon this time of year is not the time to run scrap in because the scrap yards they put the prices down because they know everyone's going to run it in for Christmas.
you're sounding like a conspiracy theorist now.
No, no, it's not.
Look
It's
who's a
not a conspiracy
conspiracy
theorist.
theorist now.
Listen, put in the chat if that's a conspiracy theorist or not.
Oh, I forgot there's a chat. Hello,
Yeah,
everyone.
you can't look at it.
I know I can't because I'll be distracted.
Yeah.
I'll be like Jamie.
Tell me who's seen that before that scrapyards put their prices down at Christmas because they know everyone's going to be running it in. Make me right. But no, so yeah, that was some bullshit. But before we get into that, should we have a little look at some news? Well,
Yep.
this is not electrical news actually, but it's quite. I thought I'll throw it out there because I've actually allegedly got one of these sticks. Um, you know, Amazon Fire Sticks that have been jailbroken. Well, the government have been coming after people all round. Even if you're just using it, they're coming after you. People are getting cease and desist letters. People are getting nicked, and like there's a massive crackdown. Yeah, some massive crackdown going on all round from November right the way through Christmas. So if you've got one, do you know what I mean? Probably don't use it. Do you know what I mean? You might get nicked. I doubt it though. But yeah, you don't really watch much TV though, do you, Kimbo?
Yeah. Obviously, we all know I'm a conspiracy theorist. So what you said there, I'm like, look, there are a lot of better things they could be doing with their time.
Oh, for sure.
But no, I don't really watch TV. Yeah, just yeah. So
It's
I'm
not
not.
really a bit of you, no. So you haven't got a jailbroken
No,
Amazon Fire Stick, no?
no.
See, I would have thought you
No.
definitely. Also, new bit of news. The CEO of a national construction charity is demanding the government gets tough on criminals who target tradespeople's vehicles. So, band of builders have been out there talking about vehicle theft. Well, breaking into people's vehicles and robbing their tools. Now, I had this the other day as well. A couple of weeks ago, I left my truck open. I got in late and I just parked in front of the house on the driveway instead of backing it up all nicely. And someone just was got like they done loads of vehicles that night, just went around trying all doors. But to walk onto my drive is so bold. Like you could get caught so easily. Anyway, they walked on and they took my. I had all my power tools in the back, and do you know the only tool they took was a grinder, which obviously to rob other stuff. So that was so I got some of my power tools nicked that night. But yeah, have you had yours done yet?
Yet.
It's going to
I had
happen.
When I had a van, yeah, I did. But this is why I started working out of a car. And since I've had my car for the last few years, nothing. I don't bother locking it. My heel tee's all on show, laptop's in the front seat, nothing. But when I had my van, that would be locked, right? Lock it. You know, you got the lock at the top. I forgot to lock it once because it was literally 1 o'clock. I'm going to get my meal deal. Was like, I'll only be like 10 minutes. Went and came back and there's a little hole there. And I was like, oh, that's a weird place. This was the first time I got done, right? So I was like, oh, that's a weird little hole. Like, what happened there? So, anyways, drove off, went to the job, and I was like, oh my god, where's my tool bag? Oh my god, where's the box of smoke alarms? Went back to the wholesalers. I was like, guys, they leave the box of smoke alarms here. And they're like, no. I'm like, what? And they're like, wait, my tool bag, I must have left it on the job. And literally someone at the wholesaler was like, yeah, you got done. And they're like, you see that little hole? That someone drilled a hole in it and basically opened up your van and took everything out. And I was like, what? And it got done again a few months later. So then I ended up giving the van back, getting a car. And since I've got a car, literally nothing. So incognito. No one's targeting cars.
No.
For tools. And this is one of the reasons why I'd love a van. But honestly, I wouldn't be able to sleep. Right now, if I knew I have a van out there.
Do you know what?
I would love it. Oh, actually, just before you say that, you know, I had the EV for a week, the Ford E-Transit Custom, right?
Was it good?
Oh, I loved it. But honestly, I struggle to sleep for a week knowing that there's a van out there and my tools are in it.
Really?
And yeah, because it's targeted. It's literally like, yeah, I couldn't sleep properly, and I couldn't park downstairs because the flat I live in, they've got like no commercial vehicles as one of the regulations, and it is what it is, right? So that's considered as a commercial vehicle, so I couldn't park it there. I had to park it down the road in some dodgy car park overnight. And yeah, honestly, I struggled to sleep, and a lot of people message me on Instagram saying, they struggle to sleep at night.
Ain't you better off just like leaving the like taking all your shit out of it and just leaving it open?
Yeah, that's what the truck drivers do. So you know when you're driving past and you see all the trucks with everything lifted up, because that's what they do. Just because obviously when they sleep on the roadside or pull over, people pull up, lift up the trucks, take everything out. So that's why when they pull over to the side, they leave it open just to show it's empty. I don't know if anyone knew that. And that's what I think. Honestly, that's what I would if I had a van now. I'd probably do that just to show people it's empty. Like, don't bother. But if it was obviously loaded and everything else, I wouldn't want to take it out every night and carry all my stuff. But then I wouldn't.
See, I'm not that guy either. I ain't doing that. Like when I get home, I'm ready to lay on the sofa and watch TV now. I ain't looking to do no more jobs. Do you know what I mean? I'm done for the day. So unloading my truck every night. But with my truck, I don't leave anything nickable in the back of the truck. But in the cab of the truck, underneath the back seats, you've got storage area. So I put all my tools there, which I probably shouldn't be saying on a national podcast, but whatever. But I put my tools there. So, do you know what I mean? It's locked. So it's more of a car. So I don't know. I think trucks get done less. I think
because they assume it's the on-site manager that doesn't do any work. So there's no tools in the truck. But yeah, so vans I think are the most targeted, trucks second, and then cars with ladders on top third, and then normal cars like mine, that's incognito, probably fourth last place for targeted.
Yeah, but you should get a truck, Kimmy. I can see you in a truck.
I definitely do want. I do want to get a truck, but obviously we all know my current situation with my knee injury, which means that I'm not claiming benefits because that would limit to what I can do.
Allegedly.
Obviously, no. So the thing is, like, obviously, it's a legitimate injury and I genuinely can't work. But if I claim benefits, then obviously that means that the government, if they watch my social media profiles and they're like, wait, that's false. And I'm done. And I'm not the kind of person to limit myself with how much I can earn. So for that reason, obviously, I've chosen not to claim benefits, and it's not something I've done in many, many, many years. And even when I did, it was to help pay nursery fees when I needed it years ago. Not that there's anything
wrong with it. Don't be scared about saying you had benefits. Listen, I've had benefits.
Yeah, so no, it's just one of those things where so
I'd take benefits now if I could get them.
But yeah, no, I've chosen not to because obviously, it's just too much effort and hassle. So yeah, at the moment, because obviously my income is limited, I can't really be splashing out on a new van in this uncertain time where I'm not actually fully working. So as much as I'd love a truck.
What truck could you get though?
One of them Ford Rangers. Oof.
Oh, jacked up.
kind of like I don't know if you've seen a Sparky Milan Dan.
Yeah, he's got a
He's
nice
got
one. Nice
his
one.
his one is wow.
Hasn't
One
he
of
got
them
the?
things.
He's
He's
got
got
the.
like this grey deranged black
That's it.
rimmed
He's got a
out.
deranged. Yeah, he's got a deranged.
Yeah, one of those, something like that. Or one of
Across the
them, you
road
know
from
them
me.
American Ram things that's like super huge, like 10x for no
Yeah,
reason.
like, you just can't park
Oh.
them anywhere. That's
Yeah,
the
I'm not
problem.
yeah, that's the thing. I'm parking on double yellows in the middle of the road or a tank.
So across the road from me, there's a car lot, and on there they've got a pink Mitsubishi Barbarian,
Me
bright
quickly
pink,
googling what a Mitsubishi Barbarian is.
in
How
pink.
do you
So I
spell
reckon
Mitsubishi?
that's a bit of you.
Mitsubishi
My
Barbarian.
daughter loves it. She's like, that's the truck I'm going to have when I'm an electrician, Daddy.
Oh, yeah, that's cute. But nah, it's
No,
Ford.
not a
Is that
pink
Ford?
one, no. But right. So tell me a little bit about your leg, because when we was at Alex, you was in a wheelchair like
Oh,
an
yeah.
idiot. How
Yeah.
embarrassing was that?
It's so much. Do you know what? Being in that wheelchair really taught me a big life lesson
There we go.
about people that are actually genuinely disabled and how like it's so hard. People don't see you when you're in a wheelchair because you're not at eye level.
No.
Everyone's having conversations and you wheeled me up, right? And everyone's having a conversation with you, eye level, and I'm just down there and I'm literally like, no, can anyone? And everyone just like shaking their hands above my head as if I'm not there. And people are wheeling me, so they join in a circle of conversation. I'm like, hey everyone, and then the person wheeling me, you, was like, yep, just wheeled me to the side as if I'm like an object. And throughout the whole day, having to speak to people. Obviously, I'm in a wheelchair, so I'm looking up at everyone like this, right? So people are speaking to me, and the back of my neck is aching at this point. And one guy, MKO Electrical, right? He just goes down to my level and goes out down on his knee and he speaks to me at eye level. I nearly started crying. I was like, oh my God, I've not looked at someone eye level for the whole
Why
day.
are you so dramatic, bruv? You didn't even need it. You could have just got crutches.
My ACL and meniscus was freshly torn.
Yeah,
Can you
but you could
imagine?
have got crutches
From where?
and a good knee brace and
From
just
where?
walked
It
around
happened
like
the
a
night
G.
before. Hilton had a wheelchair. I said I'll take it. Otherwise, I would have had to go home. But yeah, that was it. So obviously, since then it's been a long journey. Obviously, NHS misdiagnosis. NHS don't want nothing to do with it. They said it's a year wait. They said
Oh yeah.
literally benefits and sit at home, and we'll do your surgery in a year's time. And oh, it's been so long. And obviously, private, I've been looking for hospitals, and it's costing so much. But I'm getting closer to finding something. But now, where it's so cold, I don't want to have the surgery because of the complications that you can potentially have. So I'm kind of waiting until spring, get it done
Can
and
you
over
walk
with.
on it now?
Yeah, but I limp and I can't carry things properly. So I've had to actually get a backpack. So a tool bag. I used to have like my tool bags
Yeah.
and like one on one shoulder one. Now I've actually got a backpack because I struggle with the
It
balance
evens
and I
it
struggle
out.
to
Yeah.
yeah, so I have had to get a backpack. So I've adapted and I've even got like shoes with no shoelaces because I
Have you got a
struggle
good
to like
brace though? An articulated brace, like I told you.
no, I ended up trying that. It ended up hurting my knee even more because it's squished down on some bits and bobs. But anyways, yeah, so that knee thing, I'm like, I'm done talking about it now. I'm like, soon I'll get the surgery in a few months, and then I'm hoping by like May, April, couple weeks recovery. So I'm hoping to have the surgery like end of February, March, and be good to go May and
And
June,
April,
July,
it
maybe
depends
start
how
wearing
bad.
face.
Like, this is what I'm saying, right? This is what a lot of people don't realize. Like, you're out there winning awards and all this sort of stuff, but in reality, times
Yeah.
is tough behind the scenes, and that's what this is about.
Mm.
Like, I've made. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of it. It's dumb what I've done. It's really dumb. Okay. Um. So the I made some bad mistakes, and it's really done what I've done, and it's upset and annoyed a lot of people, and it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to turn back time, is there? Like, it is what it is, and so I've got to move forward and just do better. And that was pretty rough because it was like going back in time for me for a bit, and then the consequences were quite dire, like at home, um, professionally, with like as far as this podcast is concerned, like, and then obviously once that happened, then I got knocked for £4,000, like fucking a day later, literally a day later, got knocked for £4,000, and then that was really rough. because I had people working for me. And then how do you deal with that scenario? Plus, I'd put all of our money into it. So I sort of funded most of the job with my own money. And then, boom, had the rug pulled out. And now I'm not getting that money back. And I promised money to people, and I'd promised money to like just to get through. And then that rug got pulled out. So now I've got no money. I've got no jobs booked in. I'm ill because I've run myself into the ground. And then I like, and then I didn't know what to do. And then mental health, stuff like that starts catching up with you because of, you know, been smashing yourself to pieces for a couple of days, and like now you're out the other side, you can't really think straight, nothing good's happening. Do you know what I mean? Nothing good happening in your brain. And then you've been knocked money, you don't know how to deal with that. We literally had like maybe 130 quid in the bank. That was it. That's all we had left. And obviously, where do you go from there? So I just started telling the truth to people about what's going on, and I went onto Instagram and I just used it a little bit like therapy, and it was tough because it's embarrassing. Like, you're telling people shit that's personal shit, but but you've got, but because you've got a platform that people listen to, and like they deserve to know almost. It's like the people who listen and the people who follow you and have put effort into being part of the show and stuff like that, they they deserve to know what's going on. So you have to be honest. And like I said, if people actually want to know the ins and outs of it, message me and we can have a conversation. But I'm not going to put it out on public record. But I will get close to it and have these conversations. And for me, that was really difficult and really, really hard, because it's embarrassing. I don't want people to know my business, but in the same breath, I've got to be open and honest about it. And then obviously, um, and then I damaged my ankle. That's turned into a massive catastrophe. So now we've got, like, Amanda gets paid, we get a little bit more money, and then boom, someone offers me some work. And I'm so grateful. And once I'd done the initial video telling everyone, like how fucked up and stuff, I got maybe 100 messages. 100 messages just come through saying, "Listen, we got you. We love what you do. Stay strong. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you come back from them." Boom, boom, boom. I got 100 messages on Instagram. Fucking blew me away. People just offering me work and all to get me back on my feet. And then the local guy called Jackson Electrical Services, big shout out to him. Big shout out to him. He goes, "Listen, I've got a couple of weeks work right near you. Boom, boom. It's yours if you want it. We'll work out a day rate. Boom, boom. I'll get you paid. No problem." So we did that. And so I've been doing that. But then, so I started on the Thursday. My ankle was so bad. Like, I'll put up I'll show you a picture of my leg, right? I'll show a picture on here. You've never seen anything like it. So this is it now. I had to redress it yesterday. That's my leg. So after that, I managed to get through Friday, and then I had to go to A&E. Went to A&E, got that looked at. They'd done the surgery. They got it all sorted out, and then boom, I'm walking around. I can't take tramadol, so I'm taking paracetamol and stuff like that. And I get all my scrap together. Boom, boom, boom. Go out quickly, look at a job, come back. That's robbed now. And that was on. So I had the surgery on Saturday. That was Sunday. We was meant to do a podcast that day, isn't it? And then I was like, I can't do it. I just ain't got the energy. And then, it's just been this constant. cluster. And I'm not saying it like I'm a victim. It's just life, and life happens. But I think it's important that if we're having good times on Instagram and good times on YouTube and everything looks good, I'm starting up a business, it's going well, this and that, and I'm doing all these good things. We've got a sponsorship, we've got all this, and I'm doing all that. Then when the times are bad, I think it's disingenuous if you don't talk about them as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're feeding people a bit of a lie about your life. And if you're lying about your life to people online, then you're lying to yourself almost, because you're getting a kick out of living a life that you're not really living. So that's why I decided to be honest. And it's the best thing I've ever done. Like, honestly. And then the Green Cable guys, they reached out to me today, you know, and it's more than I could have ever wished for. And it's more than I deserve, if I'm honest. It's more than I deserve. But I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make it better. Do you know what I mean? But tell me a bit about you. Like, you've had a rough year.
Yeah, it's, I guess, same but different. Same but different. So, like I said, it's life, trials and tribulations, ups and downs. So on Instagram, obviously, I'm sharing all my highlights, and I'm not the kind of person to share about my struggles too much.
It's
I guess
embarrassing.
it's, yeah, it's embarrassing in some ways, and in other ways, me personally, I'm kind of more like I blame myself, and I always thought it was my fault, all these things that happened, and people around me told me that I'm never going to achieve anything. I'm not good enough. I'm not uh like I don't deserve nothing. And I had people in my life that would just put me down all the time. So for me now to tell people like, oh, I'm literally being abused every day by these people in my life, they convinced me that I was the problem. So it didn't make sense. But yeah, was it last year, 2023? Yeah, went through a hard time as well. Went through just my whole life collapsing into zero. And I guess it's like yourself, like you mentioned something that sounds like a downward spiral, like when one thing goes wrong and another, and it piles up and you're spiraling down and you can't stop it. And all of a sudden, it's beyond your control. It's not even you doing things. All of a sudden, your scrap goes
Exactly.
missing. This job flops, this job, this client, your car goes, you gotta now pay 100 and something pound for this, a fine comes through, and then it's out of your control and you're spiraling. And then how do you deal with that? How do you stop yourself? So obviously everyone turns to different things, whether it's, you know, drinking, self-harm, whether you're like just crying, whether you're like overeating, or there's so many different ways you can cope with it.
I do that.
Yes, obviously myself, I just shut down, cry, sleep, don't go to work. But then that's the thing, when I don't do none of these things, it further spirals. So yeah, I went through like a time of my life where, yeah, I had very close people to me, family members. Don't really want to talk about all the specifics as
Don't
well
have to get
because,
no.
yeah,
It's not
no,
about
I'll just share a
specifics.
little, you
Yeah,
know, just sort of like a little thing. So obviously on Instagram, I'm doing so many things, but the thing is, it's real life. It is my real life, and I am achieving these things, and I am doing all these amazing things, and visiting all these countries and doing everything amazing. But also behind the scenes, I'm also suffering and going through a lot. So I had family members that were literally abusing me every single day, like for hours and hours on end, and that to me was normal because it was my normal life, telling me, you know, I'm not going to achieve nothing. I'm not going to like be anything in life. At one point, this specific family member like placed the mirror in front of me. It was like, look at yourself in the mirror, look at your face, and remember that you ain't nothing. Look at your face. Your face is ugly. Like you ain't gonna achieve nothing. And this was normal to me because this is what I grew up with. This is how my teenage years were, and it was just normal in my household with the people I live with that are my family. And obviously then these kind of people, they call them like narcissists or whatever else. I realized that because I was in that kind of headspace, I attracted a partner that was the same. It was a 3-year relationship where it was basically the same kind of person. I had to cancel the marriage. I had to stop speaking to my family members. There were so many things that happened that were just back to back, where I realized actually all these people are just out here to suppress me, to bring me down. And I've just managed to attract the same person in a different body through friends, through clients, for everyone else. And then, yeah, I was made homeless. I wasn't able to work. I didn't have anywhere to stay. I didn't have any more family members. Literally went to zero because I'm not like from the UK. I'm Lithuanian, so I've got no family members is anyways here. Cancelled all of my life plans, became a full-time mother. I used to be a part-time mom because me and the dad used to share my son half and half. So yeah, became a full-time mom, responsible for this little adult while being homeless. And I'm working for the council in void properties that have been empty for months while being homeless. And I wasn't able to get on like any kind of council help. I literally just said, look, I just need some help for a month just to get myself back on track. And
they're like,
the council said, we can't help you. And I was like, look, I can't, like, I just need a little bit of help for a month just to get back up on my feet. There was nobody to help, and I didn't really want to reach out to strangers, and I didn't really have like friends like that I could reach out to. So I just struggled with it. And obviously on Instagram, you see me going to work and I'm like this and I'm like that. But behind the scenes, I was like staying at my friend's house. I was doing this. I was just traveling just to like, you know, my son, and we was doing like 4-hour school runs, 2 hours there, 2 hours back, just to make him seem like everything was normal. And yeah, things just got very heavy. Then obviously I had the knee injury, and I couldn't work, and I was just going through so much where no matter what I was doing to do my best, I was getting knocked back. And again, downward spiral. Next thing you know, I can't work because I'm depressed, and I'm just like laying down. My clients are calling me, and I'm just, phone's in airplane mode, and I'm depressed again. So I went through like a lot of these up and down sort of things. But meanwhile, all of that is happening behind the scenes. I'm also achieving so many amazing things. So that's why I got through it. And obviously now I've come out so much better, and I'm celebrating everything. But obviously I'm still dealing with some of the things that happened, some of the people, and it's still hard. But at the same time, I'm in a good mental place now where I understand that everything that happened was not my fault. Everything that happened. I can't change. I can't turn back the time. But I'm learning like new tools on how to deal with and how to cope. And yeah, and regardless, just keep pushing forward. So I think, yeah, I share that just to say, look, I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. There's a lot of things happening now that obviously I don't want to share the details, but some of you guys know that I've spoken to. And yeah, I literally had like episode throughout this whole time where I didn't want to be here, and I was scared because I didn't want to be here so bad. I literally had to like call one of my friends, and I was like, look, I don't know what to do. I just like, and the thing is, you can't leave because if you leave, it's permanent.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
you can't check out for a little bit. No.
Yeah. So I was like, I literally called my friend. I said, look, I don't know what to do, man. But like I said, in reality, I'm living two lives. I'm literally living the best time of my life over the last year and a half, and also the worst time of my life. But both of them are real. Both of them are true. But yeah, just sharing, just to let people know that look, we're all going through a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Not all, some of us, but it's hard to talk about it because it is embarrassing. And a lot of the times, like we blame ourselves or we shame ourselves. Like, look, I shouldn't be going through this, because at the same time, like I should have been smarter. I should have. In my head, I'm thinking I should have bought my house by now. I should have done this and that, and then also I could have had a house and then not being able to pay my mortgage payments, and I would be in the same thing. So all of these things that we tell ourselves in our heads, I could have been this, I should have been that. None of that is real. It's all the matrix. Everything's glitching. Don't worry about it. You're good.
It's but here's the thing, though, right? This is heavy as fuck, isn't it? Right?
It is.
I think it goes to show that even when it's the times are the darkest, just keep going, and you come out, didn't you?
Yeah. That's the thing.
It's weird.
I'm so happy because I went through this quite a few years ago. About 4 years ago, I went through like proper suicidal. Like I was driving towards a tree, and I was like, "See you later." And I swear to God, you can say I made this up. Yeah, this green light appeared, and the car just swerved off the road and parked up. And I was like, I don't know if it was an angel or I made it up. I don't know what happened. But all I heard was,
you have to take it to these levels, bro.
Listen, all I heard was like, you still got people to meet and places to be at and things to do. Don't do it. And then I was just crying. I was like, what the hell? So because of that, I went through that, and life was just so amazing after a few months, and everything picked back up, right? So because of that, I knew when I was going through this hard time that things will get better. All you have to do is make it through, do your best, and then everything starts going better again. And yeah, literally me now, I'm like, everything's going upwards, and I'm like, I'm so happy I stayed and I made it.
Yeah, I think we all are, Kimbo. But so what plans have you got now? Like, so I'm freshly like coming out of the fuckery now. Like, listen, my leg's still hurting. I've got to redress it tonight. I'm scared to death of looking at it because it's horrendous. I'm still taking antibiotics and all that. The whole thing is horrendous, right? But I'm starting to feel the vibes coming back. I'm starting to feel like myself again. I'm starting to think, right, start planning. Let's start building again. Because actually, when I focused on this job so much, to this job that I got knocked on so much, I did neglect the smaller jobs. I did neglect answering the phone to new customers and stuff like that because I was so involved in it that, you know, when it all went wrong, I had no work to go to afterwards. So now I'm building.
I've done that twice before myself, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And I literally said, it's too much. It's either me or this job. So I said to the lady, look, keep your money, find another electrician, but I must walk away for the sake of my mental health, because I did that. I let that job consume me, just literally.
And then,
it can do that to you.
So when I got knocked, come out of it, I've now got no business to go to. Like, I've got a name, I've got my name, I've got my truck, and I've got my skills, but I've got no customers. And I needed work quick because I'm knocked. So I've got no money. So I'm still coming out of that. I'm working, I've got a nice bit of work. I've got some jobs booked in for the weekend. So that's good. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can start feeling the momentum coming back. And things are starting to come back.
And then it does the opposite. It does the upward spiral where things just get better and better and better.
But I think for people like us, because we wear our emotions on our sleeve, right? Which is, or our emotions are quite close to the surface, that we are quite controlled we're quite controlled by objective reality. So things that are happening around us can make us quite quickly go down or quite quickly go up. So for me, next year, I've got a couple of things that I'm really going to be concentrating on my business, getting that up, but I'm doing it differently this time. I am gonna do it very differently. I'm definitely not gonna ever be in that position again where I've gone into a job. So basically, with this job, these two ladies, slags, were they were one of them was friends with my wife. She worked at the nursery with my wife. Anyway, she left the nursery to start this calf soft play sort of thing on the high street. And she said to my wife, can your husband come and have a look? Check the electrics, boom, boom. So I went, had a look, said, right, your electrics are in a bad way. This is what you need to do to fix them. This is what I can do for you. This is how much it is. They was like, yeah, sweet. Can you start? No problem. Done that. And then we went to, and then we was in it for a bit more. And then bang, the next thing happens. They need emergency lighting and fire alarm. So we go, yeah, I can do that as well. So we give another price, but none of it's written down. None of it's written down because they're friends. None of it's written down. And when it all goes wrong, you've got not a leg to stand on because none of it was written down. So right now I'm looking at software. So it's all packaged into one thing. So I don't know whether it's Tradify, whether it's, if someone can recommend.
Powered now.
Yeah, well, someone can recommend a nice bit of software that we can that I can use that does all the illegal stuff, puts it into a quote, and then spits out a quote that's got legal in it. I'm not doing even a £50 job without a quote and legal and all that stuff. It's not happening. It's got to be on point because I never want to be in this position again. It's nonsense.
Well, that's the thing. Do you know what? When that job thing that happened to you happened to me, right? I always said I lost a couple grand on that job. Yeah. Oh my God, it was awful. Because I ended up paying people out my pocket to get them to get the job done. So this one guy said, look, I'll come in, smash out in 2 days. I need £1,000. I said, take it. I need this job done. It was my money. And then another guy needed another £800. So I gave that out my money. Materials, I was like, you need more? Take out my own money. So after all of that, and obviously not getting the money that I should have got, I was like 4 or 5 grand out just for this one silly job.
Yeah.
And what I've always said is basically I've just paid 5 grand for a crash course of how to run a business. That's literally what we've done.
You know it.
Like in like our alternative, quirky ways. £5,000 to learn how to do legal things, how to do things
forget.
properly, how to always make sure you have things written down, and how not to F up. Yeah.
Do you know what? It's 100%. I've just paid that money. I paid the same tuition as you, bro.
Cheaper than uni, anyways.
It is, isn't it? But yeah, no, these things happen, man. And this time next year, we should do a pod, right? And see where we are. See if things are different. Do you know what I mean? Because I think I've been through the ringer. You've been through the ringer this year. But I don't think it's going to last another year. Things have got to be better next year. It can't be any worse. It's got to be better.
Just every day you have to choose a higher timeline. Sorry to make it all hippie and that, but choose the higher timeline. Every day I wake up now, I think, shall I choose the higher timeline or the lower timeline? Which decision will take me to where I really want to be? So I've been actually trying to post some stuff on the internet, do some content, and I had to think like, oh, what if like no one watches it? What if like it doesn't do well? And I was like, and I kept not doing it. And then I was like, wait a minute, not doing things is not going to get me where I want to go. So I'm like, I'm just going to do it, and it's actually going all right. So,
but no, I've got plans for this year. I've got plans to build the business back, get some things rolling, get my life back in order, you know. But again, I don't want this podcast to be like a big old boring moan about how bad our lives are. Like, you've had some good wins this year.
Like, let's talk about, we've had some big electrician of the year over here, entrepreneur of the year, just renewed my Hilti sponsorship for another year and my Prysmian sponsorship for another year. So basically my bills are paid for another year.
Nice.
While I chill and recover from my knee injury. So honestly, without Hilti and Prysmian, like, honestly, they're like my lifesavers.
But no, listen, let's talk about the so what, because you get a few electricians of the year, didn't you? So what one was this?
Oh, this was on the tools. I don't know what the electricians of the year.
On the tools is a good one. It's a good one. But
on the tools.
So you smashed it out, and then what did you get entrepreneur of the year from as well?
Building the Future Award. So
how do you even get nominated for these?
Nominated, anonymous. Everyone else knew who nominated them. Me, no idea, and no one's come forward. So I have no idea who nominated me. Everyone else was like, "Oh, shout out to so and so who nominated me," and I was like, "So the Matrix bitch." And I won that, which is amazing. So I basically get a mentor for 6 months.
Nice.
To help me do things, which is amazing. And then the on the tools was cash thing, and I'm like, Christmas money.
How much cash?
Just $1,000, but it's still $1,000.
That's all right. It's $1,000 for what?
It could have been 10, but it's fine.
Remember, you're just an electrician, bro. It's not personality.
You know what? I told people, because in Lithuania, I told people like, I won an electrician of the year award, and they're like, what? You get awards for doing your job? I was they just think it's hilarious. They're like, so wait, you guys get awarded for just doing carpentry and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, do you guys not? Probably not.
It's wild though, isn't it? So what's the criteria you got electrician of the year for?
So they judge on everything. So obviously
you don't do no work, so how are they judging it?
No, I have done a lot of work this year in between all my injuries. This is the thing. I've literally had the hardest year of my life so far, barely working. But then in the bits where I did work, I smashed it out. Even with my injury, I traveled the world, worked as an electrician, did that whole time. I run my business to a point where I didn't have to work and I still earned money. Everything. I did so much. I worked with so many people this year, like Highland Electrical, Luke, learning commercial, like domestic.
When you worked in Morocco, how many hours a day did you do? So they weren't doing long days.
4 or 5 hours a day, less than that. 4 hours a day, easy.
And what was the money like?
What
was the money like?
For them over there, it's decent, but for us in the UK, if I was to bring that wage back here, it's not enough. But
how much was it, bruv?
So I got paid about $1.5 for 2 weeks, but I only did a week. But they still let me keep the money.
Not terrible. Like, that's like.
But obviously that includes because they pay for my hotel and my flights. But I left early because I was like, sorry, you guys aren't working enough, and I'm actually bored and I want to go back and actually work. But I am gonna come back because I've still got the 1 week left.
Why don't you just stay at a hotel and sit by the pool and drink
Nah, I don't
High
drink and I
ties
don't
and
sit
that.
by the pool. I'm always like covered up, you know what I mean? But I am gonna come back sometime soon. I'm hoping because I've still got my 1 week left. But anyways, yeah, that's that, and I won that, and I was nominated for Content Creator of the Year, but I didn't win it because they said you don't post consistently. You literally disappear for months at a time, and I was like, fair play.
Not wrong, not wrong. Are
Yeah,
you going
shit
to
was
revive? Are you going to revive the YouTube?
Yes, yes, I've actually done a few little videos, but because of again this injury, I can't actually go out and physically work. So my YouTube is just gonna have to be like me talking casually and doing random electrical bits on the side. I want to do some content in Lithuania, just do like tool reviews and things that other people that don't really work
Just
that
show
much.
some You should do a walk around of Lithuanian electrics because
Yeah, I should.
I tell you
Here's a
what,
socket.
decent. No, I'll tell you why. Those foreign videos on electrics do really well. People are interested in that shit.
Yeah. Do you know
I'm
how
not.
interesting electrics here are for me? Like, when I go to the bathroom and I plug in my hair dryer next to the sink, I sweat. I'm like, but it's wicked. Imagine being able to blow dry your hair in front of
Yeah, that's
the
really
sink.
good.
It's sick. But also, as a UK spark, it makes me sweat nervously.
Do they have like RCDs and stuff or not?
Yeah, they do. They do. And the place I'm staying at is actually tripping because there's a cable outside that's just exposed into the ground with like no wagles or nothing. So every time you turn it on, it just trips. And I pulled it out and I was like, whoop, just put it back in. So I'm like, so yeah, I'll
Do they have
definitely, I'm
Wagos out
definitely gonna
there?
do
I
some.
know I'm asking some really
Yeah, they do.
retarded questions.
They do. They
Why
do.
don't you go and get some Wagos, wake up the end and do them a favour, bro?
Oh, nice. It's like some kind of SWA looking thing. I'm like, I'm not stripping that on a holiday.
Wait, are you holidaying out there? Or are you staying
Well,
with
it's family.
family?
I live like my family's out here, innit? So it's kind of like it's not really a holiday because I'm here with my family and I'm chilling and I'm just
How
whatever.
long
So
are you
that's
out
why
there for?
I'm literally gonna speak to some Sparkies and see if I can do some work out here. And that's when I wanted to do like the videos and the
Yeah,
content
that's a
and
good idea, you know.
yeah.
But they're militant out there. You'll be working like fucking 15-hour
The thing
days.
is, women as tradespeople here is not a thing. I'm the
No, 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 of
first
course it's
one.
not.
I'm the first female electrician that anyone knows. So I looked for female builders, carpenters. There's literally nobody. So I'm the first one in the whole country. It's no joke. It's actually not a joke.
Why don't you phone up the local newspaper or something and see if you can get
Yeah.
in
I
that
honestly watch. That's
and
my
see if
I
it
don't
becomes
want to
like
talk
a.
about 2025, but I've got big plans.
But you might be like a
Global,
national
baby. We
celebrity.
going global.
You might end up on like Lithuanian Big Brother.
Yeah, I don't know. This is why 2025, I'm like, show me how good it can get. Amen.
Fucking hell. Listen, we're going to
Show
wrap
me
this
how
up a little
good
bit early tonight.
Why? Because I'm going
Uh,
crazy.
no, because I'm tired. And it's our first one back. It's a good one.
But no,
But it's been a
we've
heavy
done good.
one.
We've done good, and I hope what we shared is obviously vulnerable. It's not easy, and we've only shared the surface, but it's still a lot. And we hope it helps some people. And if
Yeah,
you're
man.
going
I
through a
think
tough time, reach out to me in my DMs on Instagram. Because the thing is, I've got a lot of DMs, but I scroll through and I check. And if you type in like something important or like leave a comment, say, "Can you read my DM?" I'll definitely read it. And if you're going through something, you just want to chit chat about anything or tell me about your problems,
I'm not the
reach
one for
out.
that.
Yeah, not so.
But
Yeah.
if I can help you in some way, like people have helped me, and you reach out to me for help in some way, I will do my best to help. Whether or not I can is a different thing. But where people have been so kind and so like supportive, like it's unbelievable. But I don't know, man. I think this one's been a hard one, but a necessary one. No
Yeah.
one else has done a podcast like this ever. It's
Mm.
not something people do podcasts on because no one gives a shit about mental health, really. Like they do all these
They do for
podcasts.
box ticking, I feel like a lot of the time. It's like
Yeah,
tick a
yeah, yeah.
box, but no one actually genuinely wants to talk about like hot open on a sleeves
No, no,
kind of
no.
vibe.
But it is what it is, and this is why this show exists, is for these things.
Yeah,
So,
I
um,
appreciate it.
so what I'm going to probably do is, you know, it's not going to be as consistent because it's going to be a lot harder to do by myself now. But Kimbo, if you're up for it, I'll have you
Yeah,
back
no, no,
on.
I'll support you.
You can be my wingman for a bit. But yeah, it's just just going to try and bang out the podcast as usual. Try and stay consistent, but it's going to be hard. And going to bring you a bit more electrical focus content next time. Like this has just been talking about our lives and how shit they've been.
But it's a part of being an electrician. That's the whole
it is.
thing.
It's an important part. It's an important part.
Yeah.
And
And
I
you know
think,
what? Yeah. I was gonna
hey,
say one thing before we go, yeah.
go on.
Just to add to what you're saying, literally, this whole community on here, yeah,
Incredible.
electrician podcast, even the Instagram community, and not TikTok, they're awful on there, but Instagram community, honestly, without those people there, like I've never met half of them. Some of them I've met once, but they have got me through. They don't even know, like they've got me through it. Just their little messages of support, like, "Hey, Kimmy, you're right. You haven't posted for a bit," and I'm like, "Boy, you don't even know what I'm battling in my life." Do you know what I mean? And like real life friends have not reached out to me, and these people on Instagram that I don't even know their real names. I just know like them as like Sparky27 or whatever their names
Yeah,
are,
it's
and I'm like, I
wild.
have no
It's
idea what your
wild. Yeah.
legit name is or what you look
Yeah.
like. But thank you for reaching out to me. You mean the world to me. And there's quite a few people on there that, yeah, man, I couldn't even start giving shout outs to everyone because I don't want anyone to be missed out. But
No,
yeah,
I couldn't either. Like, it took me like half an hour to read all the messages like that been coming
yeah,
through, and it's fucking amazing. And it's amazing the community that's built around this podcast, this chat community, the ESK community that I'm kicked out of. Um, but it's still an amazing little community, and lots of good shit goes on, and everyone's there for each other. And I thank everyone for everything that's happened this year and what's going to happen next year. Love you all. I'll be back next. Wait, is it Christmas next week?
yeah,
Is
literally a
this the
week.
last show, or is it Sunday? No, this is Sunday. So Christmas special on Sunday. I'll try and sort something out. Boom, Electricians podcast. We out. Nearly out. Stop recording. Boom.